Hey guys, so today I have swatches of the Essie Concrete Glitters collection. This is a 6-piece texture polish collection and I'm really excited about it. So I actually found these on the Ulta website, but I think they're around like 88 Beauty, Head to Toe Beauty, those places now. So 6 polishes here all together and then we'll get into the swatches. So the first polish is called Venture to the Venue, and this is a very, very light, it's like an off-white from some angles. It looks like it has a very, very light pink kind of tinge to it. This has a lot of sparkle in it. Silver sparkles. Some of them reflect a little bit pink and a little bit blue as well. And then they're very small and it's very hard to tell if they're like gold or bronze, but there's these little metallic flecks that run throughout this as well. So it's a light color, so it is a bit sheer on that first coat. I keep forgetting that Essie has this wide brush now. It's going to take me quite a few Essie collections, I think, to remember that this is the brush I'm going to see when I open the bottle up. Because this is a texture polish, you can get some little grainy pieces that kind of stick off the ends of your nail. You just have to smooth those out with another hand. And good formula on this as well. It's not thick at all. So this one does start to build up on 2 coats. I think I only did 2 coats for my swatch picture, but I could still see a little bit of nail line. I think I'm only going to do 2 coats here. I don't know. We'll see what happens here, because I might have done it with the brush, but I didn't notice it until after it was on that I had a big smudge down the middle of that nail. It actually looks okay. I think I'm just going to do 2 coats here. You do have to do a little bit of a thicker second coat with texture polishes. It's similar to putting a top coat over a glitter polish where it's going to eat a little bit of it, so you do have to do a little bit thicker second coat. And this is a texture polish, so it is going to dry gritty, and it is going to take a little bit of scrubbing to remove it. I don't think it's going to be as bad as a glitter. You can top coat this if you really like the color but don't like the texture, but it's probably going to take 2 coats of top coat because it is textured, and these are very, very sparkly as well. So that is 2 coats of Venture to the Venue. The next polish is called Beat of the Moment, and this is a light pink with a pink shimmer and then a ton of those little metallic flecks throughout there as well. That's what I think really makes this particular polish, is those metallic flecks against the pink. So this one is also a bit sheer on the first coat, but it does build up pretty well in 2, and you can see those metallic flecks are all over the place. I mean, you could probably tell already, I really, really like this collection. I think these might be some of my favorite texture polishes ever, like up there in the top, like 5 collections maybe? I have to really evaluate myself to decide that for sure, but my guess right now is up there in like top 5 collections. Good formula on this one as well. And I don't know if you can see just yet, by the end of this video you'll probably see a lot of sparkles stuck to the skin around my nails. The sparkles in here do stick to the skin a bit, and I just flooded, because this wide brush on my pinky finger. It's the only finger that doesn't really work for the wide brush. But you are going to have a lot of sparkles on removal with this one. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats. Again, you do have to do a little bit of a thicker second coat to get the whole nail covered. And you might have to tap some of those, I don't know, little grainy pieces back off the end of the nail. And like all the other ones in the collection, you do want to skip the top coat because they are meant to be textured. If you do really like the finish or like the color and not the textured finish, you can always top coat them, but it is a little bit of a pain to top coat a texture polish. So that is 2 coats of Beat of the Moment. So the next polish is called Can't Stop Her in Copper, and I think this is more gold, but this is in my opinion, gold texture polish. This has those little metallic flakes and then a ton of gold shimmer as well. So this one covers pretty well on the first coat. It is going to need 2. You can see my brush is really crazy. I keep clipping. I take cuticle nippers and I've clipped bristles off of this brush. You can see it a little bit better here. I have clipped bristles off of this brush like 3 times, and every time I put it back in the bottle, another one or another 2 stick out, so I give up. This one and the rest of the colors do cover a little bit better on the first coat. I think it's possible for the really light off-white one that you might have needed 3 if your coats are really thin, if your nail line's really white, but the rest of these are pretty solid 2-coaters. So this one, it does cover completely in 2 coats. This still has a lot of sparkle to it, and those little metallic flakes actually do stick out better than I thought they would against a very similar colored polish, but it definitely doesn't have the contrast with all the shimmers and the flakes that the rest of the colors do, because everything's kind of the same color in this one. And again, these are going to take a little bit of scrubbing, a little bit more than the average polish, but they shouldn't be as bad as a glitter. So that is 2 coats of Can't Stop Her in Copper. The next polish is called Up Slate, and this is a kind of gunmetal-y gray shade. This doesn't seem to have those larger metallic flecks that the other polishes so far have had, but this does have some blue and a little bit of orange-looking, very fine shimmers running throughout it. So this one, also a bit sheer on the first coat, but it will cover in 2. I also didn't realize how much I appreciate wide brushes until just about every mainstream brand in the last couple of months has switched. The ones that didn't already have wide brushes have switched to wide brushes, and then swatching like a whole collection with these brushes and then moving on to one without them really was kind of shocking. I still think they're a pain in the butt on my pinky finger, but they make everything else work out so much better. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats. I know I've been kind of rushing through this, not even really realizing that I haven't showed you like on camera what these look like when they're fully dry. I have swatched pictures of them fully dry, but obviously that's a little bit different, so I'll try to remember to let this one dry all the way before I take it off. This one actually isn't a great one to show that because this one remains pretty shiny when it's fully dried down. It still has a bit of shine to it where I feel like the last 3 do get a little more dull when they're completely dry. So there's a little bit of a look at this after it is completely dry. Well, I mean, I could smudge it, but like it looks like it's gonna look when it's completely dry. It's been a couple minutes. So that is 2 coats of Up Slate. The next polish is called City Slicker, and this is kind of a raspberry shade. This is another one that seems to be missing those larger metallic flakes that the other 4 in the collection have. This does have some silver, some pink, and I feel like I can see a little tiny bit of blue shimmer in there as well. So this one covers really well on the first coat. Not quite a 1-coater, but it is a lot more saturated than what we've seen in the collection so far. And one thing that I do really like about these is that they are not kind of texture polishes that dry really, really matte and really, really dull once they're completely dry. I've never loved those ones. I like there to be a little bit of gloss to the base polish after everything is dried down. I feel like those ones tend to look better longer as well. The ones that dry fully matte can grab a lot of dust, and it's really gross, but they can grab a lot of dust and grab a lot of dirt, and they don't really look great when you wear them more than a couple of days. If there's a little shine to them, you don't have that issue. Looking at this one after it's fully dry, obviously this second coat here is going to deepen the color a bit, or a lot, but if you were in a real hurry, this would be a good polish for 1 coat and go, because you don't have to worry about top coating it because it's textured. I do think with this second coat, though, deepening the color, it makes those slightly contrasting shimmers stand out a bit more. So that is 2 coats of City Slicker. And the last polish is called Nite Owl, and this is kind of a teal shade. This has a gold shimmer, and this does have those larger gold metallic flecks in it as well. So this one is a little bit sheer on that first coat. It's going to need 2. I know I won't shut up about the brush, but another reason to sing the praises of a wide brush, at least for me anyway, is that I feel like I can get a lot closer to my cuticle line, and I can get it a lot straighter with this wider brush than I can with a skinny brush. I kind of always make the same weird shape when I do this with a skinny brush and then have to go back and clean it up. But when I was doing my swatch pictures with these, some of them I didn't have to clean up at all because the wide brush is so nice. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats, and obviously that second coat does deepen the color. And I don't know if I mentioned it the last couple of polishes because I've kind of been rambling, but good formula on all of these have been pretty similar across the board, no thickness at all. I would say maybe Up Slate was a little bit thicker than the other ones, but not bad at all. So that is 2 coats of Nite Owl. So these 2 lighter shades are going to be my favorites, Venture to the Venue and Beat of the Moment, the pink and the kind of off-white shade. I think the little gold metallic flecks stand out the best in these. I just like overall really like this collection. It was a combination of them being like pretty good formulas. That wide brush helps like so much, especially with a polish like this that you don't want to work too much. And they didn't dry like super dull and super matte like a lot of textures do. That's a problem I have with a lot of the darker Zoya Pixie Dust, is like they dry down so matte they almost start to look like they're dusty, like before they actually get like gross day-to-day dust and stuff in them. So these dried like a little bit shiny, which I appreciate, and they had a ton of sparkle to them as well. Especially Beat of the Moment those little flecks caught the light really well. So these 2 are my favorites, but overall, I really like this collection like a lot more than I've liked any full collection in a while. So that is the Essie Concrete Glitters collection. Again, I got these from Ulta, but you can find them around other places, the normal like online nail polish retailers now. So hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.